They're like, yeah, dude, Gen Z is really freaking hard. Like one person who they had to let go because they weren't adding any value whatsoever. They were honest, but they were really kind about it. And do you know what that Gen Z person said? They said, see how you do without me.
Best Podcast Creator Award goes to 𝙃𝙊𝙎𝙎 and 𝙃𝙊𝙎𝙀 of Joy of Missing Out. JOMO!
3, 2, 1. Oh, that was a good one, though.
We're back.
We're back. Here we are with sibling energy vibes.
I don't want to start off gross, but I did take a lot of today because of last night.
What's wrong with you?
Like,
what the f is going
like,
through your head?
I was crying on the toilet earlier.
Did any part of you from our YouTube comments think, you know what the JOMO podcast needs more?
What?
Poop.
We do. Yeah, it was bad. I was crying.
Girls don't poop. Everybody knows this.
Yeah, but like last night we had mala hot pot, tongjing hot pot.
For Jasmine Rice Girl's birthday, we wanted to do hot pot.
And it was like an upside down volcano.
You were dying.
I was literally dying last night, and then I had ice cream. That was good. And then today I was just on the toilet
so
crying.
You had spicy food and ice cream.
I mean, no, ice cream helps with the spicy food.
Does it? It's milk.
Yeah. It helps with the balance inside your
Okay, but
stomach.
like we're Asian. We have trouble and issues processing
Yeah, we have
lactose.
trouble everywhere. So
yeah, I mean, okay, for context, when we went to the ice cream shop after the birthday, there with Jasmine Girl, Chloe was
I
like
was bent over
on her side in a fetal position, holding her stomach like she's pregnant and dying.
Yeah.
Why would you make these decisions if you knew this would happen?
You know, I don't know. I told Kevin, can you just warn me never again to say yes to mala hot pot? Just like drink the normal soup.
Also, interesting question. Do you like your partner in the bathroom?
No.
When you're taking
No, I don't.
This is
Get
the thing. You know, I've had all spectrum. Some people like want to be there in there with you.
While taking a dumpo.
Yes, which I don't like. I've also dated people who never wanted me to see them use the toilet ever. One of the people I dated, I never actually saw her ever use a toilet, even though we dated for a year. It's like it just evaporates. Or I guess she'd do it when I'm sleeping.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of work too.
It's a very personal, intimate issue.
It is.
That's why I was very surprised when that's the energy you wanted to lead with today.
Yeah, I think it was just top of mind and I needed to get it out.
You got it out.
I got it out.
Everything's good now?
I don't know. We'll see. No round 3, hopefully.
If there are like any weird jump cuts during this podcast, you'll know why. Because Chloe is a child who doesn't control what she eats and then has to shit it out.
Oh, let's catch up. Let's catch
Yeah,
up.
but can we just point out? Can we just point out our shirts?
Oh yes.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. Sibling energy. Look at us. We matched today.
Yeah, we're so cute.
Yeah, they're sexy radishes. Daikons.
Is that the same thing?
I think daikons are like the Asian version.
Oh,
sexy daikons. Because why wouldn't you want a sexy daikon? I saw Chloe, actually, you wore this in the beginning of our friendship, which is now almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, she's cool. And I said, I want a copper style. And you told me where to buy it.
Yeah.
It's from a place called Nida Mama.
Yeah, Nida Mama.
Which, for those of you who don't know Chinese, means your mama.
Your mom.
Your mom. Yes, your mom.
I have aprons, I have hats, and I have
we
sweater.
got the whole fit.
I just think it's so funny.
Yeah, it's such a good vibe. And look, my
this.
socks match your pickleball skirt.
Oh, yes. I have a pink pickleball event for the girls later.
We're so on top. Which, by the way, before we shot, Kevin was like, don't open your legs.
Oh, yeah. So I'll keep it together.
Yes.
It's a squirt. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
Worry about
Sorry.
it.
There's no, that would be paywall. That wouldn't be paywall only content. That would be, you'd have to kill us. Okay, well, let's move on.
Yeah, let's catch up on the week.
Yes.
Okay, so after Sunday, when we talked the next day, I had to do my Adobe sponsored video. And this is like the craziest, fastest turnaround time ever.
Whoa.
Where I got the brief and access to the feature Monday night. I had to write the script Monday night, get it
What's the
approved
feature?
Monday night. It's Adobe Firefly Video.
What does that mean?
It means that now you can do text to video, generate video through Adobe
that's
Firefly.
dope. Wait,
Yeah.
well, I think in some ways that's because like so many people are offering this now.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's Adobe,
you know.
so it should be good.
And you can take a still image and turn it into a video. Like if it's a picture of a dog, like about to walk, then the video is
okay. So on the one hand, that's kind of cool. That's like Harry Potter-esque. On the other hand, that's kind of creepy. It gives Haunted Mansion at Disneyland vibes.
Sure.
Have you ever been on the ride?
No, I don't think so.
So when you're waiting to go on the ride, they show these portraits, and there's like a flash of lightning, and they turn into something sinister and evil, or they'd be like a photo of a dog and there's a flash of lightning and you see its skeleton because it's like a zombie dog.
That's scary.
Yeah, kind of creepy. So you got access to this, by the way. Really cool that Adobe sponsors you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Chloe, you're a creator's creator.
Yeah, so anyways, so Monday night, I had to write that script, get it approved Monday night. Then Tuesday, I shot and edited all day, submitted it that night, and I got it approved and then revised and feedback.
What's the concept? I know you like your skits.
Oh, it already came out. It's about having vivid dreams. So that's a topic. Oh, I've been having these vivid dreams to produce a drama, to an anime, create a game. And then I can use Adobe Firefly to make that happen. It's kind of like that.
How long did it take to shoot? It was really creative.
All day.
So that was work.
Yeah. And then I posted it Wednesday morning. Fastest turnaround time ever.
Good job.
I was like...
Wait, I'm going to give you a fist pound.
Thank
Boom.
you.
Oh, you got your ring on that side.
And the whole time, my HVAC was still broken.
So you were sweating.
I was writing, filming, and
no
editing
air conditioning.
in the freaking heat.
100-degree heat.
Yes. And I was humbled. It humbled my ass.
Oh, but can you tell in the video? Are you sweating in the video?
I'm like sticky, shiny.
Oh.
Yeah. The first scene is me on the bed looking like I'm dreaming. And do you know how sticky I was?
You're
I was
just
like,
sweating your ass
I have a
off?
whole ass blanket on me. And I'm like, Kevin, please, like take it off. That's so gross.
For the art. Also, I
For
kind
the
of love
art.
you're shooting these and Kevin's like right there. You just don't see him on camera, but he's helping you with
Yeah.
everything.
Kevin was helping me.
That's so cute.
And then Tuesday night, I had a catch up with a talent manager friend, and we just brainstormed a lot about my future in the creative space and my mental blocks. I have a lot of mental blocks.
Ooh, what's the biggest mental block?
There is a level of quality I upkeep on my content because I constantly feel I have to meet this quality bar. I actually posted a reel about me being in New York with Kevin.
Yeah,
and it was like there's like 10-second, very chill
it's very
vibes.
cute. You're saying like this would be lives if we had been in New York.
Correct.
It's very
I almost
cutesy.
didn't post that.
Yeah, because you thought it wasn't serious enough.
Because I was like, what? Why would I post this? This makes no sense. There's no value I bring to you. And then I posted it, and then people liked it.
Yeah, it was great.
And I feel like I'm constantly in that pattern of, I don't think I should post this.
No, because like this is some framing that we use at Instagram on how we think about creators. Creators are the people you watch when you want to be entertained, educated, or inspired.
Yeah.
You don't just have to teach. If you can just give people a little moment of joy that takes away from their lives, the mundanity, the absurdity of all the shit we have to go through. I watched that video. It's like, damn, they're so fucking cute together.
But you know me, you know?
Even if I
So
didn't
it's
know
like
you.
a different value.
No, if I didn't know you, it'd actually be even cooler because I'd be like, I don't know her, but she's like living the life of our dreams. Because I know you, I'm like, okay, there's probably like 5 scenes of Chloe refusing to shower in the background.
Oh my God. It's so true. I hated my time in New York. I had to shower every day. I was so mad.
Yeah, that's why you can't live there.
Yeah, it was just like there's a layer of filth and ick on your body because you're outside all the time. So you're like, oh, I can't go to the bed because I got to shower first. It's a whole ordeal.
Let's also talk about this. Like, why do you think you have to teach people to be considered of value?
Because I think that's how I started, and I think that's my strength and my forte as a creator. I think I really need to lean into my strengths, which is taking complex concepts and delivering it in a simple
like
way.
Corporate Chloe, but you also have strengths around the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Around the grading, around just the fun fucking vibes.
Well, that's not something I learned until this year. It really was a this year thing. Like in the last maybe 4 months, that's when I developed it.
Well, I think you're crushing it. Like literally, we went to this Asian American Creators Award ceremony.
Yeah. So this was Thursday.
We're all super dressed up, and you had us like Kira and me record these cute little dancing TikToks, and you were so good at them. Like you're not just an educational creator; you're a fun, entertaining one.
Yeah, so I think that's like the existential crisis of like, who am I online? What do I give to viewers, to you? It's always something I'm working on in the
You're
back.
fun. Actually, I think the Asian American creator thing is a great point because everyone who went on that stage started their speech with the same fucking thing. Like it was like a meme.
What did they
Everyone
say?
was like, I thought going to con it was a mistake.
Oh.
I never thought I would leave my corporate job. It was during COVID and I started to do this for fun. Every Asian American creator started off doing something different, more serious, more educationally valuable. And we all stumble into content in weird ways. And I think that's because we're drilled into a young age, like to provide value, we must work hard and teach. Like, oh, the fact that you could just go and do some funny dances and have some good vibes and post it and make a living from it. I think there's some sort of Confucian value going on here, being like, yeah, no, TikTok dances, not worth it, not properly deferential to society.
I think I'm just really mindful about the space I take.
See, that's what I'm saying. As Asian Americans, we're too demure.
It's true. Too demure, too mindful.
Demure, too mindful, too scared to be cutesy. Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Like, it's so funny that you, from an outside POV, I'm like, why do you think you need to teach people? You're just like, every time you post your aesthetic videos, remember that one where like doing different outfits?
Yeah.
People fucking loved that.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
There's another thing I really dislike is when people watch something and they hate watch it or they feel worse about themselves. Like, wow, this makes me feel less pretty, more dumb, whatever.
Okay, but like that's always an element. Like even when I watched your New York one, part of me was like, haha, cries in being alone forever. So like, yeah, there's a small part of me, but like it's, oh, see that, it hurts you even to hear that.
It hurts me. It literally does hurt me.
But the vast majority and the overall gist, I was like, this is so cute. It's not about flexing. It's about getting a slice into your life. And people like you for you. Anybody can just spit out facts. That's what we have AI. That's what we have Chat GPT for. But for the story, for the journey, for you, you got it and should express your personality.
Thank you.
You are cutesy and savage.
Thank you. So it was a lot of that on Tuesday night.
I'll say even this is something you encourage in me because so we're at the award ceremony and Chloe's like, this is the perfect time to film our TikTok. So there's like there's like 50 people in this room and Kira, Chloe and I just go to the front, put her camera there, start to record fucking TikTok dances on the podium.
Dude, you gotta film like your life depends on it.
Oh my God.
It is.
Everyone's
really
looking at us and
they literally do not care.
I know, but like, okay, so again, I'm giving this advice to you because this is something I experienced myself. I'm like, I'm a tech entrepreneur. Why am I trying to do
that's
this?
That's a mental block, right? It's the same mental block because I'm also a techie as well.
Okay, see, but you see the mental block in me. Why can't you see the mental block in yourself?
So you see the mental block in me and you're trying to overcome it for me, but you're not overcoming it for yourself.
No, I am. I did the goddamn dances with you.
Yeah, but begrudgingly.
No, I still did them.
Begrudgingly.
It starts begrudgingly before it becomes willfully. And my point is, I'm aware of my mental blocks. And
I'm
now,
aware of my mental blocks.
Okay, well, then the same way you see it in me, and you're like, well, you should go do the TikTok dances. I'm seeing in you. That's why, like, go make your cutesy content.
I mean, I ended up doing it. I just have like, a lot of fear of doing it.
Okay, all right.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, I still do the thing.
Yeah, you still do it. You still do it. It's just the thing you're working through.
Yeah, I think it slows me down. That's like the consequence I face.
Wait, what would you make if you weren't afraid of what people thought of you whatsoever? What's the cutesiest, most pretty piece of thing you want to make?
Well, two things. One, I want to make mini dramas. So like reenacting drama scenes.
You're like your K-drama office.
Yeah. I do.
Thing.
I really want to. The second thing I want to do is outfits inspired by certain animes, music videos, or Korean dramas or Asian dramas. For example, realistic outfits if I were to dress up as 2000s Taiwanese artists, singers. So like the 2000s vibes. So the songs would be like 𝙃𝙊𝙕, Rainy Yang, Jolene Tsai, JJ Lin. Okay, he's not Taiwanese, but you know, he's really big in that time. Or realistic outfits from Oshinoko.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Oshinoko, yep.
Or all the characters, all the cute girls.
Aka, the same person who did Kaguya Love is War.
Yes. The girls are so cute in it.
Yeah.
And I just want to like recreate it. And then I would sing it to the opening song.
I love the Oshinoko opening song.
That one. I don't remember.
I like it
like
actually because a little bit darker. It's all about how everyone wants something from the star, right? And she has like different sides of herself that she keeps hidden. She doesn't know what love is. And yeah, it's wrapped up in this very cutesy exterior, which lend itself really well to you figuring out a line. So I actually went to this event, which I can't share details about because it's under embargo till January. But it was
January.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's for
something exciting.
The reason I bring it up, it's for a manga, and they came up with streetwear inspired outfits for all the characters of this manga as if they were reborn in the real world. And it was so cool seeing them take these like manga characters and figure out the inspiration of how to turn it into actual clothing. It was fucking dope.
Yeah.
I feel like if you did a series on this, it would blow the fuck up. It'd be so cool.
But I'm so bad at buying stuff.
Why do you need to buy stuff?
Because I have to buy the outfits for the design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's like the block. I'm just like, oh wow, this is something I have to get over.
Well, now you can use Adobe Firefly and generate the outfits. You can't say anything. Brand guidelines.
Wait, can I? Can I?
You can't say that Adobe can't do it because that wouldn't look good.
Oh, no. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, see, that's a good answer. You don't want to say Adobe can't do it. You also don't want to say Adobe can do it because you're not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but that'd be dope.
Or, just go and buy the outfits.
Yeah, I think that's the other alternative, which is like hours of browsing and finding.
So Kira gave us a great idea. By the way, Kira was supposed to join us on this pod today, but she's like sick and dying. So basically at like 3 a.m., clearly Chloe's stomach was about to explode.
Yes.
And Kira was in bed, not able to speak. And I was just awake, sitting on the floor of my loft being like, oh, I need to be better.
Can we talk about that?
Actually, yes, but it's pretty funny how, like, that's 3 a.m. of the JOMO squad. All of us suffering. That's why Kira's not here. But I was going to say, I thought of Kira because at some point we're going to do a shopping trip together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't done it because we're all like physically and mentally afflicted with our demons.
Yeah,
and
fighting
it's hard
demons
for us
every
to go,
day.
It's hard for us to go out and do this. But yeah, so last night actually, so Zach and Lonnie came over to my place.
Okay, your first guests.
Have you seen Lonnie's story that he put out
No.
today? Can I just show this to you?
Yeah.
This was basically the main summary of our visit.
Ladies, is this an acceptable way for men to live? I'm telling you, you live like a serial killer's life.
So that's serial killer. And so Zach and Lonnie came over and basically
So
just
gross.
politely shat all over my place and then just left. I was just sitting there. I was like, they're not wrong.
They're not wrong. The self-awareness, though.
Yeah.
At least you have that.
Yeah.
We can still be friends then.
Thanks. Oh. So, yeah, I was just kind of reflecting on life and being like, 3 a.m. is always so hard.
Do you replay conversations? Is that what happens?
Sometimes, but there wasn't anything particularly bothering me. I think anytime I like go hang out with friends a lot, because we went to Jasmine Rice's birthday and then afterwards Zach and Lonnie came and shot over my place and then they leave, I just feel really empty. It's like, I don't know if you ever feel this, it's like your friends are all hanging out with you and it's like fun, but you know at the end of the night, everyone goes away and there's just you again, you're just alone and just sitting there. And you're just like...
I will say it's been a while since I felt that way.
Good.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have an amazing relationship with Kevin. And you've done a ton of mental work yourself.
So I'm trying to go back in time to remember what that was like. And I do remember it is tough.
Yeah. So like, I feel that a lot, right? It's like, oh, go like hang out, have good vibes. And then it's 3 a.m. and you're just alone. And you go, ooh. So I worked out. But I was like really tired. So I had to like rest for a bit before I could work out. So by the time I started working out, it was like 5 a.m.
Dude, what is wrong with you?
And then
that's disgusting.
No, but see, then it's 5 a.m. and then you're like, okay, if I don't work out now, what was the point of staying up? It was worthless. So I have to at least get the workout in. But then you're also really tired. So you're trying to lift, but you also don't want to like not hit a PR. So it's a lot of mental work involved.
I was going to say I respect it, but I don't.
see, but this is why we need you to go make cutesy content because it's in the throes of our nihilistic despair. What brings us joy is looking at you being all cutesy, living your life, making your cute little anime manga inspired outfits.
Bro, you're so dramatic.
I'm just saying, no. When I was really, really depressed in sophomore year of college, you know what kept me going?
Anime?
No, My Little Pony.
No way.
Yeah.
That's BS.
It's such a wholesome show.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like bad.
Why does it seem bad?
It just seems empty. Is it not empty or is it deep?
The subtitle of My Little Pony is literally Friendship is Magic. It's about friendship. It's so wholesome. It's so great.
Oh, you watched My Little Pony in college?
Yeah, this is like freshman, sophomore year. I was depressed as fuck. I was like failing my class. My parents were just super upset at me. And I was stuck there for Christmas break. And like the only solace I had was like go into my room and watch these goddamn My Little Pony episodes where everyone's friends with each other. And it's so nice and happy. And it's just moments of distraction.
I see.
And in a way, that's what you get to provide to people. It doesn't have to be, what am I going to learn from Chloe today?
I don't want to call it like a distraction.
Why are distractions bad?
There's a implied escape from reality.
Why is escape from reality bad? We all need escape sometimes.
I don't know if I like the word escape. Like
Okay.
it means that you are trying to run away from something you're meant to confront. But I do like the fantasy world, not because it's an escape from reality, but because it's like I like to venture, and I love fantasy storylines.
See, then don't think of it as escape. Think it as side
I think
quest.
it's venture. I think it's side quest.
Yeah.
I think it's an exploration of like things that aren't possible in the real world, which is why I like a lot of anime.
Yeah, a little bit of fantastical journeying.
I like that stuff.
There's something we said. I learned this in dialectical behavioral therapy. There's something called distress tolerance. When you're upset in the moment, you don't necessarily need to like think through cognitively like all the issues you're having, how to block them. You can just do something that just makes you feel happy right there.
Yeah.
And that can be sort of the creative imagining. And I think when people watch these like cutesy ass dances, like, oh, this is fun. Cute is good.
Cute is good. Thank you for that vote of confidence. I will keep it up.
Nice. But yes, I also had a great time doing the TikTok dances with you, even though it was begrudgingly at these awards. which, by the way, were super, super cool that Jerry Wan, one of our friends, he like put this together. It was like really, really well done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like Chloe and I won Best Podcast Award.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we invited Kira. She joined us as well. It was really, really great. And the main point I gave in my quote unquote acceptance speech was precisely our whole generation is stumbling into this accidentally. But I like to hope that the next generation, because Chloe and I be old, we're 30 and above. We're not like your Gen Zers. But yeah, like many of the creators there, we were on the older side because we've been doing it a little bit longer. So I had a great time. Also, it's really cool. It's our first time like going out together with Kira as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to give her recognition also.
Yeah, it was really neat. I posted about it today and I feel really proud because I said this in the little speech that we had. Making this podcast, I was really afraid that I was not big enough to start a podcast. There's that. Then I didn't think anyone would listen to me because like, who am I to start a podcast? And then the third is that a lot of people told me not to do a podcast because it's hard and it'll fail. Like there's hard. The failure rate is so high. Like the number of creators who literally start podcasts and deprecate it is so high. We could be at risk, but so far, so good.
We're still doing it. Did you see Pokey started another podcast?
I thought it was like season 2 of the same podcast.
Oh, when she brought in Lily Pichu?
Yeah, I think it's season 2.
The same one.
Like the next season, the same
Yeah,
one.
like that's another point. You're always trying to switch podcasts up because, look, we're talking, but we want to be introducing other different things in. And actually, I remember why I brought up Kira before when we were talking about outfits. One of the things I want to start doing is one of Kira's ideas. We should dress up for each episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like we should have vibes. Like, wait, I think this could be such a good way, Chloe, for you to express that cutesy side of yourself. Let's style ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, this is our version of styling.
Yeah,
wearing the same matching shirt, but there's so much more we can do. We could have a Halloween episode. We could have, what did you call it? Office siren episode?
Yeah, I really want to do like an office romance
episode. Have you ever
episode.
Dressed in the workplace like an office siren?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I know. Like that literally never crossed my mind my entire tech career.
I don't think anybody actually wears these office siren outfits in the office.
It's a lot.
But it's the fantasy of getting to express a little bit of your personal self and professional. That's why it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun fantasy.
Yeah.
It really is.
So hopefully we'll do more with Kira. We'll bring on changes like that. And again, to your point, because podcasts are so hard. And I'm so grateful and happy that you, despite the naysayers, plowed through it anyways.
We did it, Jomies. This is us.
It was really cute. Chloe, like, I don't know, is this like in January when we decided to do this pod together? You came over to the Karat house?
I told you about it last year.
Yeah.
And then we like verbally agreed.
Maybe it was like November. So Chloe comes over and she's like, we're like vibing and she's telling me all her grand plans and one which she wants to do a podcast. And literally in my head, I was like, oh, that sounds so much fun. It's like, I'd love to do one with Chloe. But the thoughts you had were even more magnified in my head. You have a following. I don't have a following. Sort of, but mostly through the context of my company. Nobody really knows me. So I was like, well, I'd love to, but Chloe would never ask me. And then you asked me. And then, dear reader, she asked me.
Dear gentle reader.
Dear reader, Jane Eyre. You remember Jane Eyre?
No.
You never read Jane Eyre?
No, I made a Bridgerton reference.
I mean, it comes from like the same vibe.
Okay.
But Jane Eyre always addresses like, dear reader.
But you have to say it in like a British accent, right?
I can't do a British accent. Can you do a British accent? I want to hear a British accent. You set yourself up for this.
I can't do it.
Do it.
I can't do it.
Okay, if you do it, I'll try.
Dear gentle reader.
That was so good.
Yay!
Now I'm going to look really bad.
No, we don't have to do it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, we're going to pass on.
Yeah, we're gonna
Sorry, you have to subscribe to our Patreon if you want to hear me trying to do impressions. They're awful.
So you had a great time at Asian Creator Awards.
Yes,
I'm glad.
Exactly. And I'm like I said, thanks for this podcast would not have existed if you had not come with the concept and idea and asked me. Even the name comes from you.
Yeah.
We were at a party in Santa Monica at Fourth Wall, and we had a bunch of ideas.
This was the day I got laid off. The day of
no
day,
way.
that morning, and that night I went.
You had emotional whiplash from I don't have a job to podcast time. The laid off to podcast pipeline is not common, but real.
Actually, I think a couple people reached out to me in this pipeline.
Wanting to do podcasts?
Yeah.
Damn,
yeah,
did they do it?
Because they got laid off. Yeah, they started a
Wow,
podcast.
and she chose Dear Reader. She chose me.
Yeah.
Wow. Who else asked you? So I know who I went out over on.
I don't know who they are.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
they're They're strangers.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
A win is a win.
Yeah,
But I remember because what were some of the other names we had?
errand friends.
Errand friends.
And internet coworkers.
Internet coworkers. I remember I had one.
Oh, out of office.
Out of office. I kind of liked out of office.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad that could have worked. Out of office could have worked. There's a world. Tell us, readers, in the comments, watchers, if you like these alternative names. What?
Because we can't change it. What's the point
Well,
of
it's just good to think about. Hey, there's infinity of alternate universes.
I love JOMO a lot.
JOMO's great. Oh, I remember one of my suggested names. There's this movie from like the 2010s called Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Why would you? Okay.
It's just a funny name for a funny movie. And I want to be Chloe and Eric Make a Podcast. Or take a page out of Colin and Samir, where they just call it the Colin and Samir Show and just call it the Chloe and Eric Show. But yeah, you went around and surveyed everybody and people liked JOMO.
And now we're here.
Yeah,
8 months later, 9 months later, 9 months later.
Ooh,
8
so
months
that's
later.
exactly how long it takes to carry a baby to term.
We birthed this day.
I always think of it. Dear JOMO.
Yeah.
This is now the physical manifestation of JOMO baby.
Yeah. Anyways, so that happened on Thursday.
Yes.
Friday and Thursday, I had career chats with some of my friends / mentors / friends in the VC space. Because I mentioned in the Patreon that I was exploring opportunities in the venture world to see if, because I really love the breadth of companies I'm able to work with as a creator.
Yeah.
But I can't do that if I sign as a full-time employee with one tech company. It's not common to work with multiple.
Yeah.
So I think one of my VC friends, who's like a managing partner, broke down the VC world for me because like I simply just did not know. Someone like a few weeks ago told me I should look into an operating partner role where I parachute into a company and work with them and help on like on the product side or something. But then I got mad humbled and they were like, no, that's a very senior role. Like it's an ex-founder, ex-VP of a large corp.
That's not quite true. I've seen operating partners come from your background.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I am trying to pull
Or
up
like,
my notes.
honestly, like EIRs, entrepreneurs and residents.
residents.
On the whole, it tends to be more senior.
Mhm.
Yes. But it would not be out of pocket for you to do it.
So EIR was an option. The expectation is to eventually you're launching your own company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And I'm like, I
a
don't know if
lot,
I'm
to be
doing
clear,
that.
a lot of EIRs don't. But yes, that is.
Wow.
That
Then
is
you
the
have
expectation.
your partners, your GPs.
Oh, obviously you're not going to come in
Yeah,
as GP.
I'm not.
You could also come in. Sorry, you know what? When I said operating partner, I think I misspoke. Maybe that's why he said you're way too junior. What I meant was venture partner.
Oh, yeah. That's something else.
Yeah.
Principals and associates who eventually become GPs who can lead like deals.
It wouldn't really make sense for you to come in as associate.
Yeah, it makes no
it's too
sense.
junior if you.
Analysts, no equity, all the grunt work. They do
Yeah.
sourcing, analyzing deals. And I'm like, I don't really want to be doing deals. That's not what I want to do. I want to like build. And then the venture partner.
Venture partner's the right one for you. That's what I think.
They actually said they're very senior. You may not get equity in a firm. And the venture partner is mainly used for marketing purposes.
So yes and no. I think of it as venture partners are often operators who've come in, and yes, they lend their credibility, which helps for marketing purposes. But the premise is almost like, well, like you're too senior to come in as like an associate. But I don't know if you actually know how to do VC work. VC work is very different from operating work.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm like, yeah, it's a big difference in building something versus like vetting something and investing. So it's like, well, I don't think you're ready to come in as a principal. So there's like a lot of people where you're in this like weird bucket where you're like senior, but in a different field. And you could be amazing, but I'm not sure. So often what ends up happening is they bring them in as a venture partner where also it's a little bit of a like a, oh, I'm a VC firm. We're all like career investors. You as a founder want actual expertise from somebody who's done it before. Why don't you chat to our deep roster of venture partners?
Then there's actually being an advisor of startups.
Oh, yeah. You could do that too. I'm an advisor / investor in several. Yeah.
What do you do as an advisor?
It varies. So really by the way, do you invest?
We had that conversation too, which I can talk about after. But the answer is no.
Why not?
Literally, I said, let's talk about it after.
Why?
Yeah.
See, my brain doesn't.
Yeah, your brain doesn't like flow.
It flows. You
like jump to different topics. You know, it's very fascinating to watch you.
You know why I'm like, So literally, I've been chatting with my co-founder about like, do I have ADHD?
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah. And then I had a discussion with my business coach on how I talk. He described it as discursive, where eventually you're exploring all these different things where you draw them in to make a point. Unless I'm sleepy like I am today, which is I forgot why I brought up Kira early on.
Literally, you're sleepy every episode.
No, I'm particularly sleepy.
Episode?
I've slept like 5 hours.
No, I swear to God, every episode you say the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
Damn, I'm called out. But usually I'm good at drawing these things. So that's how my brain works. So, yeah, fine. We can wait to talk about investing in a bit.
My question was, what do you do as an advisor?
Yeah, okay. So,
do you remember? Oh my God.
But I wanted to talk about angel investing. Okay, fine. To answer your question, what I do as an advisor / investor, it really varies. So, like very tangible examples, my expertise is really in 3 areas. It's nice to think that I have expertise now. Who would have thought? So, number 1, it's like general fundraising. Right, we've raised over 50 million in venture capital. We're Series B. There's a lot of truisms on how to raise money that you don't really know until you've gone through it. And I didn't know until I got to ask people and ask them for advice that I can share. So sometimes just like general founder stuff. The second thing is things specific to financial technology, fintech. Like how do you spin up financial products? I will say my co-founder is actually more knowledgeable than I am in this. But like, for instance, we had a friend reach out recently and be like, how do you raise a debt facility? Like we have a debt facility of also 30, 40, 50 million plus. Like literally, how does that work? Again, anytime we do something, you just reach out to someone you ask. That's how it works in the founder space. And the third thing, and this is where I'm strongest, is on the creator side. So for example, 2 different companies, actually, one I'm like an advisor in, the other I'm an investor in. They both asked me for help. Like one of them was like, hey, like I have this product. Like how can I get creators to use it? And I came up with like a bunch of different ideas, right? Or another one was like, hey, like I want to put out a video announcing the release of this feature. How do I frame it so creators will be interested? So it comes down to your expertise. So for you,
it's almost like marketing.
Yes, but that's only because that's where my strength is. Like I'm not like an engineer. Like you would never want me advising you on how to build something, but I can advise you on how to sell it, especially if it's in the creator world. So for you, that's what I was going to say. Your expertise would be in product, which absolutely is a valued skill. We have advisors. We have like a growth advisor who, I mean, this is public. It's on LinkedIn. Like Sandy Diao, who is head of growth at Descript, was one of our growth advisors for a while. Like she's great. Yeah. Like Casey Winters, who is like one of the top growth experts in the world, was advising us for a while. Like you just go to people and you find out what they're really good at, and that becomes the discipline they focus on. So for you, definitely be product.
Yes, but I have, so there's advisor roles and there's consulting roles. So I think I've done product consulting and that really has not been fruitful.
I mean, what's the difference? Is it just equity versus comp, like cash comp?
Yes, that is the functional difference. I'm wondering if a relationship as an advisor would be different, and I don't know if it would.
So typically, I ask that as a leading question. It's really just how it's structured.
Yeah.
As an advisor, you're typically given equity and it's like vested over a period of time. And it's less like I'm paying you. It's more like I'm bringing you as an advisor. Like I'll give you equity, and sometimes you'll be cash comp as well, but like be my advisor. And it tends to be a deeper connection than just a consultant.
I think so too.
Yeah, consultant is like, oh, I'm just paying you.
I felt like I couldn't really get anywhere as a consultant. You get little visibility, and you have a really small scope, and then you do what's
right.
with your.
It's more tactical. Like do this.
I like the tactical stuff, but you don't get enough context and information and like long-term vision to execute something that's like actually could be implemented long-term. It kind of just like, oh, here's some perspective. Take it if you want.
I definitely think you could advise people on product.
So I think the advisory roles that came upon my radar this year were all cold outreach. And my VC friend said that that's strange. If you want a true advisory role, they should go through warm contacts and warm intros. The fact that they did a cold outreach one is very weird.
I don't think so. And here's why. It's because you're a content creator. You have influence. When you are someone of influence, you will get people cold reaching out to you.
Sure. Yeah. I don't understand that, to be honest.
Because a lot of product operators, they don't have any reach content-wise. So why would people be reaching out to them cold?
But I don't want to use my platform to get customers for a startup. Like my whole goal is to be product, right?
No. I don't mean in the sense like they're going to like try and get free brand deal exposure from you.
I think that's what it was.
Oh, well, that's not fun. I was saying more just like why they're reaching out to you in the first place.
But under the guise
you're
of,
visible.
Yeah, under the guise of be an advisor for the startup.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, do you want me to do product? And the answer is like, oh, well, we kind of just want you to be an ambassador and talk about it. And I'm like,
right. So just
I'm not going to take funny money for this.
Just for the name.
That's what I have been reading into after I do like a lot of reference. So what happens is I get that inbound email. I do my reference checks. I call up like any mutuals, any people who like invested in their previous
you really
companies.
Do your diligence.
Yeah, that's what I did this past week. I called up a bunch of VCs and I'm like, is this person worth having a conversation with? And the answer is usually, well, we did try to work together one time a couple years ago and that went nowhere. nowhere. And the second time they tried to do it, no one wanted to back them up. So I'm not really sure.
That's like a polite way of saying, I don't think highly of this person.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure. It's interesting, very interesting. At the end of the day, I would want to believe in the vision and mission of the company and the team and want to be part of the build and not essentially the sell, because I think it's too early stage.
Wow, I think selling's so much easier and for me personally more fun than building.
It's because I used to sell at my previous startup.
Yeah,
and I was like,
caffeine?
Yeah, the product just was not ready. So it doesn't matter how hard I sold, the product was just not ready.
See, like it's fascinating sometimes how our minds work differently. I love selling.
I hate it.
Like,
I'm really good at it. I
know
good
you're good at it. You're a creator.
Yeah.
You're selling your own story.
But because I'm so good at it, the bottleneck had always been the product.
Right. And so you want to be on the side just making it better.
Yeah. And I was like, we can't make promises. Like, it would be great if the story was like this, but it's not. I cannot, in good faith,
It's true.
say that
It's true.
publicly. That's why I went into product.
Right. To build. So I went into product because as a non-technical person who doesn't know how to code or design and wanting to work in tech, it's the closest thing you can do to basically helping shape the storyline of what we should build and how we actually build it and then actually try and get users to adopt it.
I'm surprised you didn't go into product marketing.
Because product marketing, a lot of companies, depending on what company, it's just an add-on toward the end after everything else has been done.
It is. It's hard to get good PMM culture at companies.
Right. Versus like at Meta, for example, we literally have pillars around engineering, design, and product. Like we call these meetings EPD, engineering, product, design, because those are the core functions. So I can't go into engineering, I can't go into design, but I can go to product. And then I get to do all this stuff around selling and framing.
Yeah. To answer your other
Yeah, are you going to
question,
invest? Why have you not invested?
I'm going to call out, I'm not well versed in this space. So
Sure.
I'm very happy to hear what you're thinking. Me and my girlfriends, who's like in their mid 30s, have been in exec roles and have invested, have advised. They said that investing is not worth it. Like you'll never see that money back. And it's really just to say that you invested in it. That's one perspective, which I think holds true for like, I don't know, 95% use cases or cases. The other side of the spectrum is I talked to my VC friend, I think 2 days ago, and I shared that perspective and he was like, no, I think you should invest. Granted, he's a VC guy, so this is what he does. And for people who don't do that, like writing 4 or 5 figure checks is just a lot. So he says you should invest because it's not about the money and the returns. It's about you building the eye for whether this idea, this team, and these people, if you can assess if they will make something big. And then you don't do that when you don't invest. But now you have like stake in it. So now you can like be really, really strategic because now you literally have money on the line. And yeah, most of the time it probably won't go anywhere. But like the alternate path is you don't get to build that eye at all. So that's what he says.
This is exactly what I've expected each of your friends to say based on who they are.
Based on who they are, yeah.
So here are my thoughts. Okay. Number one, you don't need to invest that much. I literally invest like $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000.
Yeah, because
4 figures.
I'm not like cash rich as fuck just doing random shit, right? I'm focused on my company. And now people are probably wondering, well, like, how can you invest this low amount as $1,000? First of all, you do need to be an accredited investor. That is important.
Oh, how do you do that?
So typically you need to have proof of income where you've been making over a certain amount for X period of years, or demonstrate your net worth, which can include company equity is over like $1 million and such. And it takes a while to get there. I wasn't there for a very long time. So you need to be an accredited investor. But the way you get to put in like very small amounts, like $1,000, you need to convince founders that you're worth bringing on, even though you're not contributing cash, you're contributing other things. That's basically the trade-off. Okay, number one. Number two, let's start with your VC friend. I don't think you need to literally be investing in companies to get a good sense of whether companies work out. Yes, if you want to be an investor, absolutely, you need to build your track record up. And in fact, a lot of people angel invest to eventually prove like, hey, I'm ready to like actually raise a fund. But if you're always going to be an operator, there are so many ways to assess whether your sense and sensibilities are right. That doesn't have to be investing. And then to your other friend who said it's mostly just a way to like build your network and burnish your credentials without making money. Generally, yes. Actually, it is a very good way to build yourself up as someone who is helpful and is connected to lots of different companies. Like when we do these $1,000 checks, I'm not really expecting much financial return from them.
Yeah.
It's more like the consummation of an official relationship, which is mutually beneficial to both parties. It's like a handshake that has $1,000 in between, right? That being said, I have a lot of friends who actually have made a good amount of money from investing. The caveat though is it'll take like 10 plus years to see that return. And so I invest $1,000 in because I'm not like stupid financially wealthy. And I do want to just continue growing my network. And I don't think I'm expecting a lot of financial return, even in a 10-year time scale. You do also get to learn from the inside what companies are doing.
I think that's interesting. I think that there is a world. I do it if I get to learn. That would be my objective.
And it'll be really easy for you to get on cap tables because you have this blend of the product expertise, but also the content creator expertise.
I don't know how you're doing right now, but I feel that for me, the intersection between creator space and tech product is very small.
It's small.
There's only so many.
Yes, it's small because the space has not blown up the way everybody thought it would 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But you'll still find roles and people who want to bring you in. And you might not even need to invest. They might just give you advisory equity, advisory shares.
So that was an interesting conversation. Or at least I had several this week. That was that. And then we are here to the weekend.
By the way, for those who don't know, Chloe also told me it's okay for me to interrupt her more.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to be clear. I'm not just this asshole.
Yes, back to the annoying sibling relationship.
Chloe literally was like, can you interrupt me more? Because our pods are better when they're conversations.
Yeah, it's
And I'm like,
true.
great, I'll just
It's
lean into my
true.
natural impulses. Because for most of my life, I have to rein these impulses in. I have to sit, I have to wait.
You have to hold back.
I have to hold back, and my mind's already thinking they're like 15 different things.
Yeah.
So you're just letting me give in to my interest.
But you have to stay on the same storyline. That's your problem. It's okay to interrupt me, but don't change the storyline.
No,
like,
they're
come on.
They're gonna come back.
Come on.
Just let me cook. Let them cook. They're gonna come back. It's like, have you seen season 2 of Loki?
No, I don't watch that.
Do you care about spoilers?
No.
Okay, at the end, so Loki becomes this god. Oh, spoilers, by the way, who rules over like space and time and all the stories that happen in the world. And he saves the universe by bringing together every single strand of every single story and like welding them and holding them in his hands so they don't just disperse in 50,000 different directions. That's what I like to do. Different storylines, bring them together. They'll get there eventually.
I thought Loki was a bad person.
He's like an anti-villain turned into anti-hero. I like complex characters.
You do.
Kind of like the bad boy thing.
Ew.
Yeah. So I
Edgy.
also want to talk about Cece. I'm bringing in another strand.
Yeah.
Now this is who I talked about earlier. I was saying at the Asian American Creator Awards, I was inspired by the next generation of Gen Z because they can be more creative from the start in ways that I wasn't.
Oh, God.
Chloe has thoughts on this.
Context. I've had a lot of encounters with Gen Zs recently.
Encounters sound like you're like chasing
Encounters.
Bigfoot in the woods.
Whatever it is, encounters in my network, in real life, in working relationships. And I've just have run into constant walls. And I want to preface this with, I don't like what I've been experiencing, and I'm really hoping people prove me wrong, but I find working with Gen Z a nightmare. There it is.
And I'm here to say I support Gen Z.
Yeah, but
I think they're the future.
I need to see evidence. What do
you mean evidence? Where's your evidence that it's hard to work with them?
I'm gonna share it.
Okay, share.
Because I have a lot of
All right,
stories.
Let's hear it.
So we had pickleball over the weekend, and I think this is coming from like community. And I met some friends and we were talking about their businesses and how they've been having a lot of trauma with hiring and managing, coaching, recruiting, building their team. They're like, yeah, dude, Gen Z is really freaking hard. Like one person who they had to let go because they weren't adding any value whatsoever. They let them go. They were honest, but they were really kind about it. And you know what that Gen Z person said? They said, see how you do without me. Unprofessional. And this person is incredibly huge, empathetic, kind, professional, very, very good to work with, has real work experience. So I dislike that attitude tremendously. One of the people I have worked with on the creative side a while back was MIA for a while. Like this person wasn't responding back. I was like, hey, we have a deadline. We have to get there. Like, what's going on? Hey, can you like respond? What's happening? Can we hop on a call? And we hop on a call. And they're like, oh, sorry, I've been so MIA lately. It's just that I'm in a situationship and we're doing no con right now. And I'm like, what the fuck is no con? They're like, oh, it's no contact. And I'm like, what has that have to do with anything? Like, I get you're hurting and I get you're like going through stuff, but what does that have to do with anything? Another time, I have a one-on-one with another Gen Z person I'm working with. And we're doing the one-on-one, we're doing the, oh, how have you been, whatever. And they say, I'm just like trying to transition into living in LA. And I'm like, oh, how's LA? And they're like, I think it's really great, but like I have a roommate and we're really getting really, really close. But I think Like, he likes me and he's flirting with me a lot, but he has a girlfriend, but I like the attention. And it became a 20-minute update about her complicated relationship with this guy because she hasn't, I don't even know, like she hasn't had, I don't know, male attention or something. And she's like telling me, and I'm just like, I can't talk to you right now. Like, we really need to talk about the meeting. I'm gonna pause there. I see a lot of facial expressions. I have like literally 5 more stories to tell.
Okay, a couple more.
Okay.
Let him out. Chloe really needs this. Chloe's like, I want to do an episode about Gen Z because I just have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Like, I think what's really tough. So I know. I think I feel so much
just like
hurt
that shit
now.
you took this morning.
Yeah, just like the shit.
Breathe and release.
I cried taking that shit.
Oh.
You know, I was like on the toilet, just
all the
weeping.
fluids. But Kevin wasn't there.
Obviously not. Another story is when I was in New York, I was talking to girlfriends in tech, working in tech, okay? Really, really big companies, and they have their intern class. And so she was like talking to one of the interns, and one of them was like, "Are you a fob?"
Damn.
Yeah. And she's like, you know, that's not a nice thing to say.
Wow, you've been through a lot of this.
Yeah, it's like...
Do you have literally like a note section on your phone with all these stories?
I wrote just the notes just in case. I was talking to another girlfriend whose sister is Gen Z. They listen to her calls at work, and she's just so unprofessional. She's constantly on her phone, and she has an iMessage ping, like it's loud, and she doesn't mute herself. So it's like bing, ping, ping, and people are like, "Hello, we're having a meeting." And she's like, "Oh, I'm just answering emails." But it's obviously a text message ping. Also, a girlfriend is... I don't know if that person works at one of the big 4 accounting firms, but I think they were doing, and this is like hearsay, so I don't know how accurate this is, but the new grad class that you'll have to do self-evaluations. How are you doing? How do you think you did this past year or half year? And like, I think across the board, everyone was like, "I crushed it. I slayed. Amazing." But then over half of them got pipped in the first year.
Which pipped means performance improvement plan.
Yeah.
Usually means you're going
so
to get fired.
The expectations versus reality is absurd here.
But to that I say, weren't you young once, Chloe?
I've never in my life had the audacity and the nerve to say stuff like this and to have such like a distorted sense of how much value I've offered this company. I'm shocked. I don't know what to say. Yeah.
I mean, these are all pretty not great examples of people just having inflated sense of ego entitlement. I think where I was pushing back initially, and I'm considering this more now, is this really a Gen Z thing, or is this really just every new young generation goes through periods where they're sort of figuring out norms? And I think with Gen Z, it's different because they grew up on TikTok, where you get to feel like you're the star and the protagonist in the world through everything you're watching and how it's depicting how people think about things. And you just carry that over. Look, I never did any of those sorts of things either. In fact, I was the opposite, kind of like what you said. Like, I am but worthless. Please let me give you value. But Gen Z is young.
I don't think that's an excuse. I really don't. But I do think the pandemic is a real reason for them not to have...
lack of socialization.
Yeah, correct.
In some ways, I'm actually appreciative now that I went through banking and consulting, because I think they stamp those out of you.
It really whips you into shape.
It does.
They
I will say,
you hard.
I guess I had my version of a Gen Z moment in my first project where I found out I wasn't going to get like the top review. I was going to get like the second top review. And I was like, but I deserve the top review. Like, should I go talk to him about this? And one of the associates in the team was like, just don't. And she was absolutely right. I was being a dumbass. I was being an inflated idiot. And that's why I think I have a lot more sympathy for Gen Z. Like, in the beginning, you're just not really sure.
Yeah, it's true.
And in some ways, they're not totally beaten down yet by the corporate drudgery and bureaucracy. And I like that. I will say, yes, in every single one of the stories you mentioned, working with them, I would tear my hair out.
Another friend had an assistant who is like an Ivy League graduate. Oh, very ambitious.
Why are you shitting on Ivy League graduates? You're an Ivy League graduate.
I know. I'm just saying this is like painting a picture. And then they're coming up on their 1 year. And because their friends are making so much more at such big brands and their parents wants them to have to be more successful, they're like, I want to be chief of staff.
Yeah.
To go from like assistant to chief of staff in less than a year.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They don't know any better. Like I would have done, I at some point would have made similar mistakes. You know, I remember one of my friends was recruiting me to potentially join a startup, and I was just like a new PM, and I was like, I'll come in if you make me like vice president, which was like similarly dense, right? Like,
I think
it's
okay to ask for the thing, Because I don't believe age is
Sure. Like you can ask.
the wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you need to have the right argument to be like,
Right. Which should not be,
that.
I want this. It should be how you're adding value.
Yeah. I want this title. It makes sense because of these bullet points, this evidence. This is what I understand of the market, and it makes sense for this, and I would be incentivized to work in this way, and I felt the responsibilities align. Do you agree with that? If you don't, look, I actually think that this is my career goal, and if you don't agree with that, is it possible in the realm of our working relationship? And if so, how do we make that plan? That's it. That's the reframe.
I think it's hard because they don't know. And like, again, everything's on TikTok now. The algorithm doesn't promote these sorts of takes because they're not sensationalistic. So I think, you know, it's not something in them. It's just the nature of growing up with so much social media.
Yeah.
I hear you though. Those experiences all sound really, really hard and painful.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that you've personally been through.
Yeah. I feel like I can't share publicly a lot of things, but I felt really hurt, and I really want to be proven wrong. Like my brothers are obviously Gen Z, and I do my best to support them. I love the younger generations, but yeah, I don't think I can work with a Gen Z again. I don't think I can. They really have to show that they are not the stereotype of my understanding of them and my personal experience of them, because it's just rough. Another learning I had was I've been working with such senior people for a long time that when there's a lot of trust with senior people.
Right.
Like I tell you, here's a deadline, here's a deliverable. You're like, okay, cool. I know exactly what I need to do. Or I know what questions and I know what risks there are. I know how to mitigate it. And there's no question of, are you going to get there or not? There's none. But with junior people, when you give that trust, to be like, oh yeah, sure, go for it. They will disappoint you. They will miss the mark. They will miss a deadline and they won't tell you about it. And then you have to save them last minute. And so the answer is to micromanage in the creative space specifically. Maybe not tech. I don't know about tech in particular. Like my experience with tech is like micromanaging bad, setting it for success, onboarding, coaching good. I don't know that there's a line there, but specifically within the world of creative, because people who go into the creative space who are not creators, they don't have as like, I don't know, rigorous of a background as those who go into corporate. There are people who like think they can do something creative and they don't have that experience, but they go into it and then they kind of just like do it.
That's something I kind of find refreshing about them, right? Like it's that they wanted to do something creative. They didn't just want to be cogs in the machine. And so like, yes, there's potentially issues like this, but there's some good of it too, right? Like they are more creative. Like you could take a McKinsey consultant and ask them how to like package a YouTube video and they wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
I hear you though.
I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if I mentioned this in previous episodes, but I love the story of the young, ambitious person who comes from nothing and just wants to make it and wants to do it and wants to prove people wrong. And they take that chance on themselves and they go do it. I love that. So when I see that kind of energy, just like want to help. But then so far, it has always turned on me. So I feel I can't do this.
I know and you invest a lot of yourself.
Yeah. I spend the right time to give tactical feedback, to be like, look, I think this is something that would help you and benefit you in the future. But it's really scary to me because maybe like the older generations thought of us that way as millennials, because I see all those articles of like millennials are so
entitled millennials.
Entitled, yeah, really hard to work with. And I have made mistakes. Surely I've made mistakes.
Same.
But I definitely put my hours in.
Right.
I definitely did extra work to get the point.
I think it's two sides of the same coin where social media has just become more and more popular with the younger generations. It empowers you. And empowering can be good, but empowering can also mean if you come into an environment where you don't have the right context and experience and knowledge, potentially difficult to work with. And I think you've really gotten the short end of the stick a lot, especially given how much time you invest.
Unfortunately, my experience is not uncommon. The more I talk about in the space, it's just way, way, way more entitled young people in this who are like saying, oh, I want to make more money. Like, yeah, I'd love to. We'd all love to compensate you if you bring the value that is important to the business. You can't just say it because you hit your 1 year mark. You can't just say it because you did one extra thing that one time.
Right.
Like you have to really get it. And I think it's the attitude that gets to me more so than anything.
Right. It's almost like the entitled expectation.
Yeah. Someone told me that there was an agency that hired a Gen Z assistant to coordinate all of New York Fashion Week's schedules. And they butchered the entire thing for everyone. And it was like the biggest nightmare of New York Fashion Week for that agency.
That sucks. I will say, I think it's like dating. There's tons of people who are just terrible fits and lots of bad stories. I've gotten the privilege, and I mean this, I've worked with some Gen Z folks right now who I think are total opposite of what you just described. They're super hardworking, they're super humble, but I also accept maybe they're the exception, not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you know that they're the exception? Like what?
Because I'm hearing these stories you say, and I think what you've gone through is valid, right? And so I'm like, maybe the ones that I work with, I've just been fortunate. It's possible because my sample size is limited, right? And I haven't talked to other people about it, and you're drawing from a much bigger sample size.
Yeah. It's really rough. Like personal experience, then my tech girlies in New York, then some of my tech girlies in LA, and then creative friends who have been hiring all year.
Oh, you've been snooping around.
I think I just have catch-ups, like deep catch-ups. And then I hear it and I'm just like, damn, dude, same. Same.
I was impressed at the pickleball courts. I was like, why isn't my forehand hitting? And you're over there having like a deep emotional catch up with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're having like parallel conversations. I'm like, yeah, I just feel like my top spin's not really working today. And I hear you over there and you're just like, yeah, I understand you.
So I guess if you are experienced with this, you manage younger generations, or you are Gen Z, I would love to hear some insights on what I'm going through. I really want to believe and I really want to make something work and I want to be a bridge, but I'm having a lot of trouble. I'm coming on walls. So any advice, stories, or your perspective as Gen Z, that would be really helpful for me to reframe and refresh and reset.
And we'll talk about it in our future episodes.
I know. Thanks for supporting me. I know, like, I just started
absolutely.
like sad. I started to get really sad.
I'm sorry. It just sounded really hard.
It's okay. Let's not end on a bad note.
Why don't we end on what we're excited to do with Kira next? Also work related, but office romances, where there are some spicy stories from all three of us on what it's like to date somebody at the same company, the same industry. Do you know, are they interested in you or not? Is it worth risking the business relationship?
Office crushes.
And Kira does have planned office siren outfits.
Yeah, we want to do a whole
for Chloe and for Kira. For me, Eric, I don't know. They came to me with a list of things I should wear, and I possess none of these articles of clothing. So we'll see. It might just be 2 office sirens and a humble admirer. But
stay tuned.
We also want to tell Kira how much we care about her, but obviously we're going to wait until she's not sick and dying anymore. So hopefully in a future episode, you will see Chloe with an intact stomach lining.
Ooh.
You will see Eric at like 85% awake versus I am very loopy today. And you will see Kira. Kira gets sick a lot. You will see Kira not with a dead voice. That's the dream. You'll see all the Jomies alive and well.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in today.
So we're so excited. Thank you for joining us today on the journey. And we hope to see you again, my JOMO Mojos.
Bye, Jomies.
That's a wrap.
Hi, Jomies. This is Eric.
This is Chloe.
And this is our weekly JOMO Angels shout out. Thank you to Jay, Eric Wu, Austin Lin,
𝙎𝙊𝙈𝙊, Aaron Shea, and Maya Long.
We appreciate
so
you.
deeply.
Yeah. Thank you for making this happen and supporting us. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye. Kind of to what I mentioned earlier. Yeah. Why did you just like put it up and let it flop and go flaccid? I wanted to
see if it could stay up there, but obviously not.
How would it? It's like unsupported.
I don't know. I thought wrong.
Well, you did it wrong.
I'm scared. Okay.
This is Chloe's copy, so if it shatters and breaks, I'm okay.
No.
It's okay. I give you mine.
Anyways, go on. What was your experience like of the Asian Creator Awards?
Wow, so natural. Such a good segue.
Ha.
No, ha, ha.
Ha, har,
har. Har, har, har. You're the only person who says that. Har, har, har. Actually, I say it too. Before even I met you, I go har, har. And no one appreciates that. I'll make fun of me. But you say it too. Har, har, har.